He won something. I don't know if he won a cup then.
Yeah, a cupcake probably from the corner.
I got it right here.
Hey, don't disrespect that. Conte can only wish to win something. Just bring it up. Hey, Conte, give it to me.
Be careful with that.
Conte, you can only wish to win something like this, okay? Just get it on your head. You can only win cupcakes. One, two, three, clap. Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the next edition.
That's the worst clap I've ever seen.
The next edition. Clap again. 1, 2, 3, clap. Okay.
But who said you're going to make the introduction?
Yeah, well, I decided.
Did you win this
You got
week?
any problem with
Milan
that?
didn't win. You don't decide.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, they
okay,
did.
but
Right.
they should
didn't
have
lose.
won. Okay, don't get me started with that.
They should have
Hey,
won.
but guess what? You got 1 point
Guys,
down. A lot more.
Fiorentina should have won.
Oh, wait, they
Good
didn't play.
afternoon, everybody. Okay, if you see this trophy over here, it's to our great achievement as the Brooklyn Italian organization of the over 50 league, playing with all of those babies, including the one that you have on your left. Okay.
Oh, you got your left and right
I gotta try
this time.
because I'm facing it. Because if I say my left, I'm gonna say If I say,
Last week you said Peter was on your left.
oh, jeez, oh my God.
He's not on your left.
If you turn around, well, if you do that, he's on your left.
Anyway, let's see what kind of a trophy is this. This is
Lazio Scudetto, guys.
It's called the
coming.
John Goldberg Memorial Indoor Tournament. It's
What's this, a
I don't understand
sponsorship?
any of that.
What's going on?
What is it made out of?
Well, it's metal. It's
Tin
not
cup.
like you.
Aluminum foil.
It's not like you.
Catano was one of the major players, and he
Where?
did a great contribution. I mean, aside from the fact that it's a Juventus player, once in a while,
to the mic.
he does what he's supposed to do. That's why we called him in, and we still trust his leadership and his skills. He
What
talks
was
too
your
much
contribution?
Sometimes, he talks too much sometimes, but he leaves it on the field. Okay.
What was your
Catano,
contribution?
My contribution was me yelling and getting yelled from everybody on.
That's part of you
on
asking
the
me.
field.
That's
So,
part of it.
You're the
Catano,
coach.
you
You're the
deserved
coach.
it. That's for you.
Grande capocannoniere.
If you had to make Antonio describe him as a coach, compare him to one of
Can we go to the next?
no. Compare him compare him to a
Can we
coach.
go to the next?
Compare him to a coach.
Well,
I'm putting this down here.
Antonio works very, very hard for this team, I must say.
So he's a Mazzari.
This is a politician answer.
You're laughing while you're saying
he's
this. so
he's
I
the
don't believe you.
administrator. I see him more of the administrator of this team, and he's the guy that keeps everybody in checks. He checks on the night before, make sure you're in bed at a certain hour.
really?
Oh, yeah.
So-
and then he sends you all the follows up with the league, and so he does a lot of work for the team.
Responsible, huh? That's
Yeah.
good.
So you don't have a.
So he's a Galliano, maybe.
Yeah. No, he's very good at that. As a coach on the side of the field, tactically we sometimes don't see the same
Eye to eye.
tactics eye to eye. But everybody has their own opinion.
So he's
You know-
more Mazzari or...
Because he doesn't have a job, you're saying that's why?
But guess why?
the way
Guess
he's yelling
why?
and
Guess what?
screaming.
We don't see eye to eye because I don't have to agree with him 100%. And this time here, since he was a coach, and I think he's a better coach than me, he's gonna have to listen to my BS, and he's gonna do what I'm telling him to do. Hello.
You got to listen to the coach, right? The coach is always right.
Maybe you guys could be a dynamic duo. You get the tactics, and he does the motivational part of it.
I don't know if that's gonna.
He has an assistant coach already.
Yeah.
You have an assistant?
I got 10 assistant coaches.
Yeah,
Everybody's
you
a
can-
coach on my team. Junior's a coach.
That's funny.
Victor is
We
a
don't-
coach.
we don't know any of the
Fari's a
players.
coach. Everybody's a coach, actually. I'm the worst one to be doing coaching work over there. But they assigned me they dealt me those nasty cards, and I'm going to try to play them the best that I can. So I'm not a complainer. I'm taking a lot of criticism. I'm getting a lot of people on my back. But
So we won
Hey,
the
you're used to
tournament. This is not the time
It
for
is what it is.
criticism.
You're used to it, no?
I'm used to it.
It's like Sarri then. You're like Sarri.
Everybody's
Team's in
criticizing.
first
Don't
place,
compare me with a loser.
and you have a lot of
You
criticism.
can tell me. I like you if you compare me with Gattuso. Gattuso, I'll take it.
That's a
Or
very good
Gasperini.
Let's go to real
That
college.
is a good one. Yeah, when he wears the
Gattuso-
tracksuit, he really looks like that.
Gattuso or
Yeah, yeah.
Gasperini, yes, I will take it. But don't get me started.
Guardiola?
Enough of.
Guardiola too.
Yeah.
Guardiola, too.
So let's go.
Let's talk about real culture now.
Next
Well,
topic.
move
we don't have-
Real culture.
we-
This is soccer too. By the way, Joe,
For
this
real.
is another trophy that is going to go into the Brooklyn Italian organization.
I'm going to steal it.
You're going to steal it? Okay. So You know, we keep in the name of
He's like
we
thinking
keep in
about
the
it.
name of the Brooklyn Italian. Not sure I wear the Brooklyn Italian shirt, but you know, I'm more faithful to the calcio.
I like that. I
But
agree.
Gaetano's wearing it.
I'm
so,
representing it right now.
so you're
I
representing
just
the
came.
Brooklyn
We just came from the game a few hours ago. We just came back from Long Island.
Yeah.
The tournament was on Long Island, so
Guys,
I didn't get
Topic
home yet.
number one. Let's see what we're
we
doing.
we have a strange episode.
Yeah,
we
strange
don't have
round.
too much Serie A to talk about because a lot of the important games, a lot of big games today were all canceled due to the coronavirus outbreak. Specifically in the north of Italy, we had Atalanta Sassuolo, Verona Cagliari, Torino Parma, and Inter Sampdoria.
Wow.
All matches that we were looking forward to canceled yesterday because of the coronavirus outbreak across Italy, in the north of Italy. So a little bit of a strange one. I didn't expect this. I mean, last night we started hearing rumors that it might be, and just to be safe, they decided to cancel. They decided to cancel the games. I don't know when they're going to replay these games, and they're saying for next week. La Stampa's saying that some of the games next week, and let me remind you, next week's the derby, Inter versus Juve,
Derby
Juve versus
d'Italia.
Inter. They're saying some games could be played behind closed doors, if
That's
not
crazy.
postponed. It's weird. It's a weird situation.
It's really taking an
Well,
effect.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go.
No, I was gonna say they don't have much leeway at the end of the season because you have the Euros coming up.
Oh, yeah,
Ah,
true.
you're
Right.
right.
So
True.
they're on a tight schedule as
They're
it is.
forced to
so,
like push these games
yeah.
almost
Scrambling.
with,
I had to
fans.
play them. So what you were saying, Marco?
No, I mean, I don't remember a situation like this before. Has there ever been a time where this has
An
happened?
epidemic of some
an
sort
epidemic?
like this?
No,
Or right?
not for
that
a
you guys
virus.
know?
So the regions that were involved was the Lombardy region and the
Veneto.
Veneto region.
Yeah.
But Piemonte today decided to also cancel the game. So Torino's game was canceled also.
I think they had something happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were 2-3 deaths right now.
3 deaths.
There was
Wow.
2 in Veneto, and now I think they're up to 3. I don't know. It's very, very strange, you know, that the people cannot go out of the house. They shut off the schools for a week. They shut off the stores, coffee bar, coffee store. You know,
Coffee bar. What
The
the
cafe from
The
6 p.m.
cafe.
to 6 a.m. they're
the
closed.
cafe bars.
In Milan,
They
in
shut
Milan.
that off too.
Yeah.
Everything's like
Yeah, it's
they said
scary.
supermarkets are insane in Milan right now. Because everybody's like
Buying
scrambling
everything
to
and,
get
like,
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, what has to do with the supermarket?
People want to get food so
They
that
want
they
to
don't
stay
have
in
to go
their
out.
house so they don't leave.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
surplus of food, so they don't.
Right.
This is not our expertise. I mean, we don't really understand
We're
the
caught off guard with
virus
all
or
this. Yeah.
how it
we could put it
spreads
in
and-
like how there's a hurricane or a snowstorm and people
Or
are
electricity
preparing-
goes out
yeah,
too.
preparing to stay
Yeah.
home, and
But
everybody
what is the
rushes to get
scariest part
all
of
the
this
food.
virus, Gaetano, that we don't know how it's spreading, whether it's a...
It's a viral. It's
an-
virus is
yeah.
viral.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No, it's spread if you cough or by coughing on something or
Let's say if you touch
sneeze.
something that you're sick and then you
if the
somebody
guy
else goes touch
coughs
the
and
same thing, you
and
can get
or
it.
if you shake the hands, it could be in the hands, so you need to keep washing your hands all
Keep
the
washing
time.
your hands, everybody, please.
If
Always
you
good advice.
now I work at the airport and all the Chinese flights are empty, and the check-in agents are all wearing these masks. So at the counter, but
The flight going to China or coming back from China?
both.
Oh.
They check your temperature when you go to China, and the few people that come from China, they check your temperature, and then they monitor you for 14 days
Wow.
after your arrival. So
Wow.
you
How
have
do
to
they monitor you? They keep
you
you
have
in
to
the
check.
airport, Gaetano?
You have to check in every day, and you have to call and say my temperature today is this for 14 days.
What
And
if somebody doesn't call?
They go get 'em.
You know.
I'm sure. I don't know. But I guess they're
So
just trying to.
That's how they.
I think Serie A and the league. I mean, I don't even know if it was a league. I think it's a whole government of sports. They were just trying to keep everything
It's
in check.
it's
The
the
Prime
minister.
Minister can,
It's the minister of health.
Minister of
Il
Health.
Ministero della Salute. They're the ones who make the decision. I think to me, the decision is a little bit too extreme, but
Better
I guess
safe than
it's-
sorry, though.
It's,
I would
it's
say.
better to keep, you know.
Yeah.
We don't understand this. I feel like I don't understand the situation perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't know what the preventative measures are. I thought maybe if they played, my initial thought was they're going to play with no fans. I thought the games would be played with just the guys on the field. I know some people are mad. They would be mad either way. What?
No fan is bad news. I mean, especially if you are the home team, the hosting team. and then you were hoping for the defender to push you to put the extra juice on the leg of your player, and because they incite you to do better.
Like Peter said, if this keeps getting worse and you have to it's either cancel the game or play with no fans.
Yeah.
But the derby, if the derby's played with no fans, that would be
that's
weird.
crazy.
That would be very strange.
Lost a lot of money too.
What happens, Pete, if this lingers
Besides-
through the European Championship that we're gonna have on the summer? Then what?
Well, I mean,
The Euros,
that's going to
right?
be a problem for ministers of health to have to decide. I mean, that's why I think they're trying to be able to confine this.
As quickly as possible.
you know.
There's some rumor that we're very close to finding a vaccine to this thing.
Oh, yeah?
There were 2-3 vaccines that they are.
I mean, I'm sure they're
experimenting right now.
working day and night.
Yeah.
Doctors,
It's something
this is-
serious.
They
yeah.
said the Champions League, because obviously we have Napoli's playing at home with Barcelona. So I heard that Barcelona is going to be doing like a lot of tests before they leave, when they arrive, and then throughout.
Barcelona, the fan or the players?
The players.
players.
And also,
The
I think
players. Why?
Why would they? Why
Because they're
would
going
they?
to Italy, and Italy,
Precautionary.
even though Naples hasn't had anything yet, I don't
Spain
think.
doesn't have anybody so far.
Not that I've heard of. I don't know.
We didn't hear anything.
I don't know specifically, but I know that they're taking measures.
precaution-
Yeah,
Cautionary
there's
measures.
also Ludogorets is going to go to Milano for the
On
for
Thursday.
the Europa League. So I don't know.
They're not
what's
sure.
going
They were
on right
talking
now.
about
Yeah.
it. Apparently, Ludogorets' president was asking, like, is this gonna happen? So it's still like on the slant
In
if
limbo.
it's gonna get postponed or not.
Yeah.
So they're not sure. It's only a
And
matter
if
of
they do,
time.
it's going to be a closed door, Mike.
Either closed door or cancel till the next week.
I don't know how you could cancel that. I don't know how you
The
could
thing
keep
is,
canceling.
you can't
it.
if you keep.
I don't think
you're
you
probably
can.
gonna do it behind closed doors because
Yeah.
you can't keep postponing
Yeah.
matches. It's
I don't
gonna
think
get
you
too
can.
much.
I understand that it affects the game, but
What are you gonna do at the end of the
Yeah,
day?
what are you
Your
supposed
back's
to do?
against the wall.
Exactly.
But that's a lot of money. We're talking about not
Yeah,
just the game.
exactly.
It's a lot of money.
listen, you can't plan for this. It's not something that you're like, oh, it happened, then you got to adjust and you got to adapt to whatever it
Best
is.
you could.
But we do have some games that we got to watch.
right.
Obviously, we'll start out with Fiorentina Milan.
Oh my God.
Which is the match from yesterday that we watched. 1-1 it ended. Very exciting game. I think Antonio and we had a couple other Milan fans in the studio for this match. And to say they were on the edge of their seats would be an understatement. When Fiorentina went down to 10 men, I think everybody in the studio, once Milan were up 1-0, I think everybody here said, all right, listen, Milan should be able to close this out. They'll probably score second, and that'll be done. Because Fiorentina didn't look great to that point. But when Fiorentina actually got 10 men, it looked like they started playing better, and Milan were on the back foot. It looked like Milan had 10 men, and we're losing,
Yeah.
and we're down.
Tables
and,
have turned dramatically
and,
after
yeah,
that
the
red
tables
card.
turned, and Fiorentina were able
They
to get one
checked
back.
on that though for Dalbert. At first, they didn't give a red card. Other than the ref went to check VAR, and they saw that apparently he clipped for him first, got a straight red, and then they got a free kick.
Antonio, controversy aside, what do you think about the match?
Listen, AC Milan played great for the first 70 minutes.
70
And then
minutes?
until the red card, and then 5, 10 minutes
60.
after the red card, everything's starting to
Change,
get scrambled out. But it's what scrambled the game in a negative way for AC Milan. It was the ref. The ref had no control of the game. I love you, Joe, as a brother, as a friend, and the fact that you are Fiorentina's president or the managers or whatever, you and Rocco, but you wouldn't have to call a spade a spade. We got penalized yesterday. I know from time to time you get penalized, but I was hoping that not against you guys we were going to take this big hit. So,
Are you talking about the penalty?
no,
the
that
penalty
was the
kick?
penalty. That was not a penalty. And even Ibrahimovic's goal was a question about. It was a goal. It was a goal.
Oh, yeah, that's
the
another big
ref was
controversy.
right there. If you're gonna stop the game, don't shake your head.
I'm shaking my head.
If the ref had to make a call, you have to make the call right away. Ibrahimovic anticipated the guy.
You don't have to make a
First of
call
all,
right away. There's no such thing as that. If the ref didn't see it, it's hard for him to see, and then that's why you use the VAR
Well,
technology.
if the ref chooses not to see it, he should go to the eye doctor because I'll tell you what. The same way. This is my.
It might
I'll tell
be-
you what,
Yeah, let him say.
the same way you just penalize the teams that they are the last three at the bottom of the draw of the Classific at the end of the year. They go to the second division. I think some of those refs that they're not good at calling the game, that they have a pattern of just missing important goals, that they make the game, they change the outcome of the game, they should be removed. Either removed or just sent it to
Well,
2 or 3
they do.
more
They
divisions.
They
do
get
have-
penalized.
yeah,
This
they
is
do have a-
ridiculous. I mean, where are you going to stop with this
They
thing
get
here?
suspended.
We are complaining until we didn't have the VAR. Oh, if the VAR was there, they could have just changed it. Now we have the VAR. The guy doesn't even decide to look at the VAR. Have you seen the press conference on Maldini yesterday? I think he was holding his mouth a little bit, but Maldini was livid. I never seen Maldini that upset yesterday.
He said
And
he didn't ever
Maldini-
understand what he said. He's never seen a call like that in
But
football. I
Maldini
think.
never comes and does a press conference after the game. For Maldini to come up to do
Sometimes
a
he
press conference
does.
after the game, it's just not good.
Somebody explain it. Is somebody gonna explain it? You want me to explain what
Well, I'm
happened?
going to talk about the handball. Because
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
handball, it
Explain
might
what
be a
happened.
harsh call, but by rule,
It's the right
the
call.
referee applied the rule of today, of this day and age, right? The handball, when it's a chance on goal and when it leads up to a goal, you can call a handball. If you watch earlier this morning, there was no Serie A games at 9 o'clock, so I was watching Manchester United game. And Watford had a goal disallowed for a very similar thing. The ball ricocheted off the post, hits the defender in his arm. Literally, he had no time to decide or be able to influence the game with his handball. They called it a handball because it led to a goal and it was touched with his arm.
It's not the
so
same
that's,
thing. Pete.
yes,
It's
it
not
is the same thing.
Let me explain you something.
ba-
And then you go ahead. Listen, when you are outside of the box
Doesn't matter.
and the ball hits you, actually, because this guy here was into a hot dog situation. He had a bun of bread from one side, another bun of bread from the other side, and Ibrahimovic was right there.
So
His
Ibrahimovic
hands
is
were
the hot
like
dog?
this. His hands were like this. The ball hits him right here, wherever he hits him. So he didn't create, he didn't go, he didn't hit the ball.
Yeah.
1 second, let me finish. Then, after that, he anticipated the player. He puts the foot in front. He hooks the ball. He goes after the first, the second, and the third man.
Beautiful
That is-
goal. Beautiful goal.
That is that's crazy. So either you just don't tell me. That
Antonio,
is not
by the rules.
again.
That's what it is.
So then-
even if you have no intention, the ball hits your arm and it leads to a goal in the same action, it's a handball. And that's what has been decided by FIFA. Whether I like it, you like it, or we all disagree with it, that's another point.
Why never happens to you guys?
We
It's always
haven't
happening to
scored.
us. That happened with always happening to us.
It happens to all the teams. They're probably going to have to review
Yeah, they
the
would have to
handball.
change
Going to have to
that.
review.
Yeah.
But what the thing that surprised me the most yesterday was that Pioli, the coach of AC Milan, said that it was no penalty. We're talking about now the penalty. And then when Maldini was interviewed, he said that it was no penalty. So now I am thinking, but we have a Serie A coach. We have one of the best players that ever played the game of soccer. And how can he and the referee see the same thing and they disagree? And I bet you if we ask here if it was a penalty or not a penalty, a few say it was a penalty, a few say it was not a penalty. That's not, it should not be that way. When you look at something, we all should agree either it's a penalty or it's not penalty. There should not be this gray area. The gray area has to be out of the rules of soccer because that's what creates all this animosity between the fans, the coach,
That was no
the
penalty.
president, and okay, for you it was no penalty. For Maldini it was no penalty, but for the referee it was a penalty.
Yeah, because
also-
why? Because he didn't see
Okay.
the game. Why didn't
So-
go and watch it?
So
why didn't go
you
watch
know,
it?
So it can't be that way. It cannot be this way.
Well, for you a penalty, yes or no?
In
Was for you a penalty, yes or no?
in American football, okay, they have the rules are a little bit more clear so that the fans understand. There's another thing you have to explain it to the fans these rules because otherwise the fans we go crazy because we don't know the rules. You know what the American TV does while you're playing a baseball
They turn the
game?
mic on.
While first of all they'll explain it to you,
Right.
but also during the commercial they have a commercial that explains the rules of the games, and they show you a highlight, and then they say, "What do you think is this? Foul or no foul?" And then they go to a break, and when you come back, they'll give you the answer. But going back to American football, in American football, if you put your hands on top of a receiver while he's receiving the ball, it is a foul. It doesn't matter if you push him or if you don't push him. If you go like this, okay, this is a foul, even though you don't push the guy. You just put your hands on top of it. So when the referee goes and sees, oh, you had both hands on top of the guy, it is a foul. And nobody argues because the fans know it's a foul, the referee knows it's a foul, the president of the club knows it's a foul, the director knows it's a foul. Everybody knows that it's a foul. In soccer, it's not clear. The rules are not clear. I think that's the first thing that they have to do.
It's well said. It's well said. And I think we all agree because
Was there a penalty for you? Yes or no, Don Cutrone?
Well, I want to make a remark for what Gaetano said. Well, I think football. I'll answer your question. I think with football, there's more time and the game moves at a different tempo because you have a lot of stoppage of play and you're able to get those clear calls and rules. I think in soccer it's a little bit different because even looking at the different leagues in England, what is let's say in Italy, what is a foul in England might not be a foul because
But that's the rule of the game.
Yeah.
That's the rules
wrong.
of the
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
This is FIFA
But-
rules.
exactly.
We're going by FIFA. The whole world goes by FIFA rules. Black and white. That's
Exactly.
But it's not
But
like
the thing
that.
is, unfortunately, even between the leagues, we have
Right.
different
Discrepancies,
calls and
yeah.
discrepancies in
But
the
that's my
rules,
point.
which is really weird. And the only thing I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Let's say, for example, when it's the playoff time, a lot of the football fans will get upset because what is called in regular season in the playoffs they don't call or they give a little leeway.
Same
Also
thing in
in
basketball,
basketball,
yeah.
in baseball, for example, every umpire has a different strike zone. But as long as there's consistency, that's what's the important thing. So everyone is gonna see it a different way. The FIFA, they have to be able to get clearer rules and enforce those rules for the whole referee association.
Okay, but the only thing is, I've been in this country almost 50 years. We never talk about, in American sports,
yeah.
we never talk about referee. There's never talk about referee. In
Rarely.
Italy, it's always talk about
yeah.
referee.
That's true.
At the end of the game, what do you talk about? The referee. But
true.
I want to hear Marco's comments.
No, wait, you didn't finish. You didn't answer my question.
Give him an answer.
Was there a
Give him an answer.
penalty? Yes or no? Yes or not? Say it.
Yes.
I think we're at a point of no return for football because I've said it many times that even the way I grew up, and I'm not that old, but the way I grew up and the game today, I was even watching a game from 2003, and the fouls that they had and the fouls that we have today,
Night and
half
day.
the penalties would not be called.
Yeah.
And to me, it belongs where it was. But on the Zlatan one, in my opinion, that can never be called. I'm not saying the rule. I'm not
yeah.
saying that. But in my
I
opinion,
don't like that either.
it's not football if that's called as a handball. Because you literally have to chop your arm off to not. He doesn't push his arm down. He doesn't
his
hit
arm
it on
wasn't
his
out
side.
either.
He
Yeah.
pulls away. If you watch Zlatan, he gets hit with the ball, and it hits him as close to the body as humanly possible. It's one of the only ones that you could say he did nothing wrong. He kept his arm there.
harsh.
He didn't move it towards the ball. He played it back. That has to be a goal. That has to be a goal.
Change the rule.
And on Cutrone,
That's wrong.
And on Cutrone, there was no penalty.
No, to me that was a penalty. I thought it was a penalty.
Why?
Everybody keeps saying that he touched the ball.
He touched the ball.
He grazed the ball. It doesn't matter that you just touched the ball.
He touched the ball. The ball changed direction.
It doesn't matter.
got him
He got
first.
hit right after.
He got him.
He didn't. It's not that. It's not that he got the ball and then he got the guy. He skimmed the ball. In my opinion, I didn't see an amazing replay, but from what I saw, it looked like he skimmed him and then hit Cutrone with Cutrone's
I
left
thought he got
hand.
Cutrone
Left-
first.
Left leg.
That's what I
That's
thought.
my opinion.
Listen, let me tell you something. On that particular play, you have to give the defender the benefits of the
Fair
doubt.
enough. Fair enough.
All the time.
Fair enough.
That was before the VAR. Now it's all the opposite, and it's all depends who's the ref.
Fair enough. I'm just saying
I
in-
hate
in
the
20
idea. I hate the idea, guys. Please pay attention to me. I hate the idea that a ref has to make a decision whether it's a penalty or not. It's going to be the people of the VAR. What happened with your best friend over there? What's his name? The president of the referees. Who's this?
Rizzoli?
Rizzoli. Where were you?
Well, I don't
Where was
know.
he?
Well, he doesn't make the decision.
He doesn't make the decision.
He-
Why?
he-
Doesn't
he
have a
has-
phone? I'll
he-
give him. I'll lend him my cellular. Doesn't have a phone. This guy here.
cellular.
Can you call those
What are you,
idiots that were in the
1980s?
room over there?
Well, listen, everybody can play devil's advocate. You know why? Because you want VAR to make the decision. In England, there was a huge controversy in Chelsea, Tottenham,
There's a few
where the
cases.
guy didn't get a red card. And again, I'm very open to any kinds of fouls. It was the most clear of red cards that you could ever see. Michael Oliver didn't call this, and the VAR room made the decision to not give it a red card. And they admitted afterwards that there was human error involved. But people were like, the referee on the field should make the decision. They're so upset. They said the VAR room should not be there because he's not on the field. And then we saw in Juventus game, the VAR didn't work. There was no replay for the referee to see. Not only was there no replay for the referee to see, the referee's microphone did not work. So he had a walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
And was
that's right.
listening to give a penalty kick.
Okay.
Luckily, it wasn't an insane situation. But if the roles were reversed and Juventus got a penalty through a walkie-talkie, I can only imagine the backlash. That they
look
were
at this.
receiving.
Look at him.
I'm laughing.
Oh, you're used to it. Look at the stats. Look at the stats.
So that it is clear, okay, Antonio, so that it is clear, every goal is reviewed by the VAR. Okay?
No, they didn't review
Yes, they do.
the goal. Yeah,
they
but not
do.
the penalty on AC Milan.
They
It was not
do. They
reviewed.
do. They do. And they
Silent
talk.
check.
And they silent check. And they talk to the referee. So don't say the VAR does it for
On the goal.
every goal.
On the
They
goal.
have to.
On the goal. Not every play. There's some plays
No,
that.
not for,
yes.
for the goal.
I just wanted
We're
to
talking
say.
about the goal.
Okay, let's move on. Can we move on?
Yeah, for
Antonio?
sure.
Can we move on?
Hey, I have no choice. I mean, I cannot
I think
turn the
Fiorentina
clock back.
could've got
Fiorentina, I thought they were going to win it.
Fiorentina had a chance to get a goal at the end. I was
Vlahovic
like, these guys
missed.
gonna. Yeah, Vlahovic. There was another one right in front of them. I was
It's
like, these guys
unbelievable
gonna
how
win it.
they
Yes,
played
yes.
with 10 players. And I would like to say something about Iachini, talking about tactics.
You give you the grace.
Iachini did something which not too many coaches do, and I liked him from that. He went with 3. You're in 10 men.
While losing.
You went with 3 in the back, so that you more or less leave the rest of the midfield and the forward line untouched. What 99.9 the coaches do as soon as they get a red card and they're playing with 10, they take a forward out. That's what they do. Everybody. This guy put in a forward.
Wow.
Okay, I know he was
Yeah,
losing,
yeah.
but I think he was going to do it even if it was a tie. He said, I was going to do it even if it was a tie. But for the first time, I saw a coach that a red card and he played with 3 in the back.
It's
And
no.
he
that's-
left,
that's
he left the
very
middle
brilliant.
and the forward without
What
any
I'm
touch.
upset in the incompetence of Pioli for me because he said that the team didn't close the game or didn't capitalize on the fact that we had the extra man on the field. The guy's not a great coach. A very good coach. He will have just tied up a little bit more the midfield and just bring the game home. The space. I mean, you're winning 1-0 away, and then I'm starting to see the team stretched like crazy. Instead of having the forwards and the midfield tuck in a little bit more.
They did. You're right. They had a couple of with 11 men. Fiorentina had a few breakaways.
I saw that.
With
Vlahovic.
yeah, they had short. You got 1 extra man, and
even
they got
after that,
caught with
Gaetano,
6 players up front.
No, it's just Pioli.
We know Pioli's not a great coach. It's not like a big surprise to us.
But he's reinforcing it.
Yeah,
There's
whatever.
nothing wrong with that.
Stability. It's more of a stability.
What do
and
we
then,
talk about every coach
There
every
was a
week.
lot of rumor whether Pioli should be resigned by the Elliott here and there. Just get him out of here.
Wow.
Just
And
get
who are you
him
gonna
out.
put?
Then none of your business, people.
He is very on the edge right now.
He's very mad at you.
Get this guy
said
here.
none of your
now.
business.
Conte, he wants to Conte.
No. Get him out. Get him out.
He said
Please,
none
if
of
you're
your
listening to me, Maldini, please get this guy here, guy. This
Maldini,
guy's
if
not
you're
good.
listening,
Okay?
get him out.
Just get him out.
If you're listening, don't listen to
Well,
him.
Gazidis said something, right?
Yeah,
Is his
Gazidis
name
another
Gazidis?
one. It's another-
He-
he's
he-
a-
he
he's
commented.
Yeah, Greek South America,
Yeah,
South
Greek South
African,
American.
South
Oh, boy.
African.
He
He
said
said in.
There might be some changes.
He said we're going to bring Milan back like Liverpool.
He said,
brought
look
back.
at Liverpool now, and next year is like, watch out for Milan. So, yeah.
Real quick.
Whoa.
I don't know if he said next year.
Big-
he said,
big
he said
money.
No,
soon.
no, in the next
He said
years, I
soon,
said, not
soon.
next year. That's crazy.
Juventus Spal, 2-1 for Juventus. Thought it was going to be a 2-0 lead, but you know how Juventus are. They constantly make their life complicated with the decisions that they make, with the way that they play. We saw Dybala. The storyline for me was Dybala played as a falsa nueve, like they like to say, and they say that Sarri is the new position for Dybala is that number 9 role, the fake number 9, whatever you want to call it. Higuain is hurt, and I think he knows that Dybala is somebody that can't be moved from the bench, that needs to be starting and needs to be playing in the games. And to be honest with you, he wants to make him like what Mertens was. Mertens wasn't really a number 9 when he was at Napoli, but Mertens was so good technically that he was able to do this. And Sarri said something really important in his press conference, I think last week, where he said, I went into Juventus with this idea that it had to be tactically exactly how I've always been, how I was at Napoli, how I was at Chelsea, and that's kind of what he brought in when he was playing Bernardeschi, and he said the balance of the team needs to be like this. It needs to be very structured, very rigid, where he says, now I realize I have such good technical players up top, like Ronaldo, like Dybala, like Douglas Costa Cuadrado, whoever it is, that I can't limit them to do exactly what I would have liked to do, and I need to give them more freedom. And I think that that's a really good sign And I like the way that Dybala was able to link up, and you saw the pass that he gave for Ramsey, who's another one. Ramsey, he used to play as a central attacking midfielder. He was not good enough to play as a central attacking midfielder. He moved as a mezzala, and he's able to bring a little bit more dynamic. A midfielder for Juventus finally scored through a great play by Dybala, who has this creative freedom that he's able to get the ball where he wants to, play a nice pass, and play his game. Juventus' problems, besides that, there still are.
Don't forget you were playing Spal too. Spal is,
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I mean,
right?
hey, Juventus tied to Sassuolo, to Lecce.
Lecce.
Who did they lose
let's
to?
not praise Sarri too much because you have 10 player with a team with value 10 playing with a team with value
About this
1.
game, I have three things to say real quick.
I don't think there's anything really
I'm
to talk
counting.
about.
The returning of Chiellini, which was nice to see.
Starting.
Starting, he played I think an hour, whatever he played, but it was good to see him back. By playing Dybala as a falso nuovo, he has Quadrado that does a lot of running. Man, this guy is a horse.
He has
Up
another set of lungs.
and down on the side. He does a lot of defensive work and forward because the ball that he gave to Ronaldo, it was a beautiful ball down. So I think when you're talking about balance and equilibrium, this gives him the balance. Instead of playing with Ronaldo, Dybala, and Higuain, which is a little bit more forward, with this, it gives him a better balance on the teams. And the third thing is Ronaldo, the record. Did he tie the
He
record?
tied with Batistuta and
Quagliarella.
with
Okay.
11 consecutive
11
games in a row.
consecutive. So for some of the people, I won't mention any names, that said that Ronaldo was not going to score any goals. Okay, so
No.
and
He didn't say
I
that.
think
He
if
didn't say that?
Last year.
I think if we put the cup game too
The what?
that he played,
Coppa Italia?
Well, the cupcakes.
yeah, he scored there too, right?
Cupcake.
He scored 36 goals in his last
Yeah.
36 games.
He scored there too. So
How many penalties? 25.
Probably.
so good job.
Ronaldo's
all
actually
I'm
looked
done.
good.
Oh,
He's
also
looked
add
good
on
there.
to the Ronaldo thing, he actually made, with that appearance, 1,000 apps in his whole senior career with club and country. So
Appearances,
and the only
Yeah.
I said
We were
apps.
talking about phones.
No, yeah, appearances.
He
Yeah,
just abbreviated it.
I abbreviated
I got it,
social media.
but yeah.
But the only other person to ever do it that's currently playing is Gianluigi Buffon. So that's an incredible
We're getting
feat
high
to
Oh
do.
wow.
Yeah.
It's funny to see.
So next year is going to be him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Next
Well,
year.
I don't know how many Buffon's at. I just know he's in the
Yeah.
1,000.
That's
It's
true,
at
that's
least
true.
1,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's funny to see, Messi scored 4 goals. And there's always a nice rivalry between Messi and Ronaldo.
That's true.
It was so funny to see Messi, I think, for the first time in his career in I don't know how many years, 15 years, he went 4 games without scoring, and everybody was losing their minds. I saw a post, Messi's done. Is Messi, he can't do this anymore. The guy went 4 games without scoring, and everybody lost their minds, and then he scores 4 goals. So it's just fun to still see them two at the top of their game. And Ronaldo's looked really good. He should have had 5 goals in the game. I mean,
had a
he hit
bunch
the
of chances,
crossbar.
yeah.
He was offsides a couple times. And Quadrado, he's a very good player, very important to the team. He has his brain farts, pretty often, where he makes a decision a little bit weird. But I like them up top better than I liked in the beginning of the season, where Bernardeschi or Ramsey were there, and Higuain and Ronaldo. That never worked for me. I didn't like it, and I was critical. I was wrong. I was critical of Ronaldo on the left side, but I think now when you have Ronaldo on the left side with that balance of Quadrado on the right and the way that Dybala can move out of the center,
Right.
it opens up the position for Ronaldo to get those balls.
Right, that's what
in the-
happened on the goal.
Exactly. So
Can I
yeah,
pick up something that we already missed on the Fiorentina AC Milan
Yeah.
game? Rebic keeps scoring. He's the man
Yeah.
that he keeps doing a lot of damage.
what's the
on
stat with
top.
him?
He has 6 goals in his past 6 Serie A
That's
games.
very good.
So he has
incredible.
scored in every game in 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
But you know what impressed me the most, which I do not understand. How can this guy here be sitting on the bench? Was Benacer? What
Yeah.
a player!
He is
midfielder.
really good.
It's unbelievable.
He impressed
He
us a
played
lot.
fantastic.
Unbelievable.
He
The
was really good.
volume of the game, up and down,
Distributing the
clean distribution,
ball-
getting back.
balls,
He's a
yeah.
good technical player.
Oh, very,
He's a very good technical
very
player.
good. I think now with Rebic, I'm not sure if we have we are returning the player back to Fiorentina. We can just get
no,
the
no.
credit.
He used to be on Fiorentina a while ago. He's owned by the German.
We
club.
still have the option, right?
I gotta check. I don't know. I think you got him.
You sure about that?
No, I said
because
I think.
I don't want Fiorentina to reclaim him.
No, it's not Fiorentina.
It's what the hell?
Oh, Czechoslovakia. What was he playing?
No, he was playing.
I'll get it. Anyway, keep going. I'll find out for you.
That's what really impresses me the most. I said we have a very solid midfield right now. That's why this is the reasons why Bonaventura has been sitting and a couple other very Paquetá is sitting, Bonaventura is sitting. It's because of this guy here, Benacer. It's unbelievable.
But maybe it's Pioli that he's putting him in that
Pioli.
position.
What Pioli? Pioli's an idiot.
Because Gianpaolo had the same players.
Says
and
he's
he wasn't able to do
he's
it.
on loan
He's
until
on loan
2021
from who?
from Eintracht Frankfurt.
So maybe
Yeah.
maybe
But he might have an option.
we might have an
option to buy.
So I think that it should be a top priority for him, AC Milan, to just to get this guy here.
Yeah,
rein him
so-
in,
The first
rein
half of
him
the
in.
season, he wasn't really performing, but now the second half, he really
So,
bolstered up. Maybe it's with Zlatan too. Maybe.
So it says they actually say that it's a dry loan. There's no
Really?
purchase option on the loan, but they still can negotiate it. But at the moment, there's no option that Milan can take up for right now.
Interesting.
But
strange.
yeah, you usually don't really see dry loans.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So that's
Napoli.
a good positive. Go ahead.
Gattuso and Napoli, they won 2-1 against Brescia, right? Dries Mertens was very close to getting that record. And Gattuso's another one who always stays humble, is getting Napoli out of this little, rut, I guess you could say, of what they were going through. And there were some people that wanted Gattuso out after, was it the first 5 games that he didn't win?
Yeah,
It was one of the
yeah,
worst records. And now game after game, they're building off these little building blocks. I mean, like you said, Brescia is not an incredible team, but listen, they could cause you problems. And getting these wins, you're just stacking the bricks to be able to lay a foundation where hopefully some good things can happen for
And
you.
you're talking about how they had a good stretch of games. I just want to throw a stat. Napoli have won 6 out of their past 7 games in all comps. So
Very
it
good.
just goes to show how incredible Gattuso's doing. Even though at the
They
beginning,
beat
everyone
Inter.
was
Yeah,
like,
you're right. I was thinking the all comps. Yeah, they beat Inter in Coppa Italia.
So they're doing phenomenal right there. I'm happy for Gattuso, and even though Koulibaly isn't his top self, and there's a lot of stuff like he was their best player and
Did
stuff.
he play the last game?
No, he might be out against Barcelona too. That they're saying.
What
Yeah,
happened with him? He
he's,
came back,
he's
he
not
came
healthy.
back.
Yeah, he
he's not
hasn't had a
healthy.
good year.
So,
Been
but
unlucky
all
this
these stuff, Gattuso's coming in, not a lot of stability, and he's still finding a way to have the locker room getting a good run of games, and it's bringing Napoli closer and closer to Europe.
They're not playing great,
not playing, but they're getting results.
but
That's
some
what
of the
matters
some of
at
the
the end
choices
of the
are
day.
always questionable in my
But it's
opinion.
good. I'm
but-
rooting for them, so I'm happy that they're doing good.
And then they got the Champions League this week against Barcelona.
Yeah, let's see. We'll hope for
Listen,
the best.
Napoli in a two game, he can do a lot of damage or can just fold it even at home very quickly. Napoli, I would give him a 50-50 chance to go
50-50.
to take Barcelona. Yes.
Well, I mean,
I hope so.
he's
listen,
got players.
Nap-
They have players.
Napoli, team-wise, I mean, they are the only team this year to have beaten Liverpool.
No, one other team. Didn't
Yeah.
Liverpool just get beaten by Atletico?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
So
crap.
2 teams.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember there was 2.
Yeah, it was just now this Champions League. But Napoli was able to beat a top team, which is Liverpool.
But that was
And-
Ancelotti. That's the only thing.
But that's what I was about to say. I think Gattuso, Napoli player-wise, they have players that can definitely play at a high level. Now it's just a matter is how motivated they are. And I think versus Barcelona, if you're not motivated yourself, you're
It's a
not
different
There's no
era
you're
in
helping
not a
you.
Champions
player.
League.
100%.
So it could be interesting. They might be able to actually perform a lot better in Champions League than they are in Serie A
That's
right
true.
now.
100%.
But Gattuso has a tough job. Listen, Ancelotti is a top leader, top coach, and tactical genius, you would have to say. So, so far he's been doing well with Napoli. He's Southern Italian, so he knows the flair. He knows how to deal with these type of personalities in the locker room. He sent Alan home. He said, "Listen, if you're not willing to spit blood,
He's not messing around.
there's no reason
So
for
he
you to
didn't
have
play-
him."
He didn't play.
He didn't call him off.
So
Said
I
he
mean,
didn't train up to his standards.
yeah. So he knows what he's doing. He's played at the highest level. He's played with the Milan that has won
He's a
many
World Cup winner.
trophies, Champions League. So he's played it around top players, and he's coached also Milan. So he knows the pressure.
So
that
all
is
of a
involved.
sudden you like Gattuso.
I've never had anything against Gattuso. I just think tactically he's still not as prepared,
as
I would
Conte.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say as
Look at
Conte.
how he's trying
Conte
to-
has won stuff in the past, yes.
really, such as
Such as
Campionati doesn't mean
Scudetto,
anything.
such as the Premier
Premier
League, which is
League.
very hard
any
to win.
Champions League, any
Which
Champions
is-
League.
No Champions League.
He's only coached 3 times in Champions League?
Right.
2 times? 3.
He
Only
won
I
a
think three.
European
Europa League,
Europa
yeah,
League.
with Chelsea.
He
I
did.
mean,
He won a
so-
Europa League. Sadi won a Europa League.
No,
maybe
yeah, I
Saudi
think it
did.
was
Saudi
Conte
did.
didn't win.
Conte
Conte didn't win in Europe.
No.
Never won anything.
No?
in
That's what he's
Europe.
always.
No, Saudi.
He's got his. What is it? What's that old Scarlet's letter? Like a little
Oh,
chip
yeah.
Yeah, he's got a
against
chip on
him.
his shoulder.
Everybody says about him in Europe.
He won
Saudi
something.
won.
I don't know if he won a cup then.
Yeah, a cupcake probably from the corner.
I got it right here.
Don't disrespect that. Conte can only wish to win something. Just bring it up. Hey, Conte, you can, here, give it to me.
Be careful with
Conte, you can only wish to win something like this, okay? Just get it on your head. You can only win cupcakes. Here you go.
Okay. Let's Lazio 3-2 against Genoa in a thrilling game.
This was a little scary game.
Every week we just see a different mental fortitude, I'm going to say, for Lazio. It's things can go in your favor. It feels like every touch that Ciro Immobile gets on the ball, he scored again, 27 goals. He's already outscored the Capocannoniere, the league goal scorer of last season, which was Quagliarella, because now he's at 27 goals again. And again, one of those moments that's like the goal that he scored, it's like you know that it was going to go in. So he's just got some kind of breath about him this season that everything he touches goes in. Even Cataldi scored a beautiful from a free kick. And even when they go down in stressful situations and coming off of last week for Lazio, they're able to always consistently show that they want to be in Scudetto holders. They want to win the Scudetto. Even at Ciro Immobile's party, his 30th birthday party, Saicedo went on stage and he said, "We're going to win the Scudetto." There's no the cat is out of the bag. They're no longer saying we want Champions League. I think that there's an air in Lazio that we can win the Scudetto.
For sure. He didn't say that we're going to win.
He said we'll win. He said we'll win the Scudetto.
Oh, that guy's gonna get killed because it's bad karma when you put it out.
come
You're
on.
confident. They're
No,
confident.
that's good. That's good.
He said it at a party too.
Oh, it's a
it's not
party.
like he didn't come out and say it.
It was
in
on
an
the
interview.
microphone with a bunch of people.
Yeah, they all had
Everyone
it.
was hyped. Everyone was hyped.
Cheeto was like, "What's our goal?" And he kind of shied away from it. He's like, "Come on, what is our goal?" And he said, "He's like,
And
we're
everyone-
going to win the league."
Everyone crazy.
Hey, nobody's gonna complain if they actually do because for me it's the team that displays the most beautiful soccer right now in Serie A.
Yeah,
They
that's
got
nice.
they got it all.
I saw the game actually. They were playing good in the beginning. Second half, it was a little scary because first of all, they scored immediately. Marusic scored, I think, within 2 minutes. It was like a freakish goal because it was against a run of play and two defenders like clattered into each other, whatever. They got the goal. But towards the end, it was Criscito that got a penalty in the 90th minute, and there was a few minutes of extra time over there, and there was a lot of pressure being piled. But this was a big win just because Acerbi wasn't playing, Lulic wasn't playing, and Luis Felipe wasn't playing. So those are three very key players, like Lulic, their captain, and the two starting center backs for them weren't playing. So I was like, let's see if they can get the points. But they're showing, like last season, they're having these hiccups, but they're actually going over them instead of having the hiccup and getting a draw or something like that. So who knows? Maybe last season this could have been a draw. They couldn't get the 3 points, but this Lazio this season is looking like a real team to
Two things.
contest for the Scudetto.
Two things that I've seen the aura on. I'm not going to throw you under the bus, Peter, but
Oh, boy.
I'll just say I've seen some Inter fans that I've seen some Inter fans say that Inter is not the real challenger for Juventus in the league, and that now it's Lazio.
I love that.
By the way
job,
that
guys.
the way that they've been going out. What do you think?
No, come on, guys. Listen, in the
He's like,
end,
come on, guys.
in the end, we've made some acquisitions in January that proved that to Inter fans and I think to all of Serie A that Inter's in it to win it. We're gonna be competing for the Scudetto. The loss versus Lazio, yes, it hurts, but we're still in.
only 3 points.
Yeah, it's 3 points. You have Juventus next week. You know, obviously it's 6 points now because of the game at hand.
Yeah.
But besides all that, I think Inter is very much in the race. The only difference is, and I would give an upper hand to Lazio in one sense, is
No competitions.
No, besides competitions, I would say more so Lazio has no pressure. Lazio, if they win, they win.
That's
If
true.
they lose, it doesn't
matter.
matter. Lazio fans are excited.
And if Inter lose,
Inter fans,
You got this
Inter,
guy.
and you see it also in the
They got
response of the
pressure?
player. They have pressure,
I'm
yes,
just getting
because
riled up.
from
they
the
should be.
newspapers, from the
Newspaper.
from the from
Media right here.
media, from you,
Especially you.
from the Inter fans. Because listen, even the Inter fans, when you haven't won in such a long time and you feel like you're right there, every minute, every second is intense.
Criticism,
And you want,
and-
and then you see also Inter fans that you lose versus Lazio. Oh, that's it. The season's over. No, it's not. You have a lot
There's
of
so many
playing
games.
time to have at.
I didn't know that.
It's scary, I
Can
think.
put pressure
Of
on
course.
somebody.
You don't remember the El Grande Jose Mourinho?
No, I don't remember him.
Intellectual prostitution.
That's what he said?
That's what he said.
Oh, so it was a prostitute. It was not a coach. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this.
going on?
I think, no, I'll tell you what is happening.
Tell me
I
what's
think
happening.
Inter is switching from confidence into panic mode. I'll tell you why.
Why?
Tell us
That's
why.
why you hear people like Peter, which is the biggest Inter fan over here, starting to talk about newspapers pressure, the fan, everybody starting to microanalyze every single thing that you do. Hey, if you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't.
Exactly. Well, that's the point
Do
I'm
you
trying to
have
make.
it, yes or not?
That's what I'm trying to make, that point.
You
I'm trying
have
to
it.
say that don't let these pressures build up, because in the end, Inter has a team that can compete for the Scudetto.
Oh, I thought that you won already this Scudetto.
No one ever said that we won.
But you said you made the acquisition, you did this, you did that, you did
Yeah.
this,
To
you did
compete,
that.
to compete
yeah.
for it.
Pete, can Inter beat Juventus in Torino?
Well, if there's no fans in the stadium, it could change some
that's
things in
true.
play. I think that's so. One of Inter's worst games this year was against Juve
At home.
The score at home in Milano. The score
performance.
didn't end up as bad as it could have, but the first half especially, Inter looked outplayed and
Inflated.
and really deflated.
That was bad.
It was
Really
bad.
bad.
So if Inter expects to win the Scudetto, I think you have to win versus Juventus. Not necessarily saying that it's done and over if you lose, but it will be a 6-point gap and things trying to change.
You're going to 6 points. You're going to 9 points, and
Yeah, exactly.
It's
You
gonna
gotta-
be
Hey,
it's gonna be
Mike,
tough.
can you excuse
But
me?
Juventus
Mike,
are
can you
also
check
not
the-
as good
how
as
many
they
how
were
many
when
the
we
tough teams Inter is going to be facing
when
before the
when
end of the
Juventus
campeonato?
when Juventus played Inter, they were in a much better mode than they are right now.
I don't know, because remember
Yeah.
the first couple, it was early in the season.
It was, but
early in the
I think we were
season.
coming off of a Champions League where we went with Atletico Madrid that ended in a way that was better for us. But either way, I agree with you. I don't think that it'll determine too much. But
Listen, for Inter to stay there, you have to beat Juventus in Juventus. Otherwise, you go to 6 points, and with the game less is 9
It's a
points.
mental,
Yeah.
hey, Napoli did it 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it becomes very, very difficult.
Roma 4-0 against Lecce. Dzeko again on the score sheet. Fonseca, what are you guys having your little private
Side
combo over
conversation.
there?
He's looking at
Yo.
Inter's fixtures for the future.
There's so many games left.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why there's a lot.
Fonseca was under criticism a little bit. There was already talks of is Fonseca the right coach for Roma? So I think it was very important for him. And I've never seen a man smile than I saw Fonseca after this match against Lecce. The guy was glowing with the smile. He was so happy and relieved, I think, after
Well,
4-0
you know
win.
why?
Well, he won 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
So he won Europa League and he won today. So a little bit more positive, and that helps the team.
And
you
they
know,
haven't
for-
won
for
in
the
Serie A
next
in
game.
4 matches. So
Right.
now they snapped the streak, and now it looks hopefully
Yeah.
from here it turns on positive for them. They start winning more
Yeah.
to compete for the Champions League.
It's gonna be a tough battle to the end, especially for Roma. But like you said, in Europa League, still there. And yeah, I don't know. I've liked Fonseca. I think obviously some things have been questionable, but it's also normal in a guy's first year in Serie A.
Have problems.
I don't think that you always will see the best of the best right when you start. But for Roma fans, I've seen mixed opinions. You kind of seen the highs of, oh my God, look, we look so amazing at this point. And then you've seen the lows of, how can things look so bad? But then when you look in the big picture of things, even Lecce is a team that's upset a lot of big teams this season. A lot. I know they're not playing at home. I know Lecce's not playing at home, but they've still been able to upset them. And I feel like when Fonseca's team clicks, they really click like this. When they don't click, they really
Everything
don't.
goes wrong.
It's kind of like the middle ground is probably not there yet. Yet.
But I think it also depends on the players that you have. You know, in the end, you don't have a lot of these players that have played at a, let's say, not necessarily a high level, but at tough situations with Champions League and stuff. That's why it's so important to have a balance in your team. When you have players, let's go to Juventus, where you have players like Ronaldo, like Buffon, who have been at the highest levels winning Champions League, World Cups. They have a certain presence and calmness about them. When you deal with other teams, you know,
they shake under the
not
pressure.
necessarily shake, but they just don't know how to experience it and how to handle certain pressure. And winning is contagious. You know, winning helps you. Things that seem like impossible, Lazio are able to go through and continue winning. So there's so much more than just X's and O's. Tactics. There's also the behind the scenes and what goes on in the locker room, and the coach being able to get the most out of his players. Roma, dominating performance versus Lecce. We said Lecce has been for me, a surprise in this team where you think, okay, this year they're going to just bow out and that's it. They're actually above relegation zone. And Roma, if you look, also a lot of the mistakes seem to be boneheaded mistakes. That when they lose,
do themselves.
When they lose, it's because of something stupid. Look at the Roma goalkeeper. That's not
a wrong
Fonseca's
pass.
fault. That's
Mancini.
Mancini.
This guy's
and
sliding
stuff,
on the freaking slip and slide.
So
Yeah, you know what I think is going to decide the championship this year,
What?
Marco? I'll tell you what is going to be deciding the championship.
What's
Whether
gonna be deciding?
Juventus or Inter, they get out of the cup. I don't
Champions
one
League or
before the
Europa
other.
League.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. Because if Juventus, God forbid, they go out now,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
say,
yeah.
then the Juventus is winning the campionato. Hands down. I'm telling you right
they
now.
have to focus.
Understood.
You know?
I really like, you led me to a perfect segue. You're saying about teams and belief and winning contagious and not being fearful and all this stuff. Atalanta in the Champions League. Guys,
Amazing.
4-1 win. And you said everything seems impossible. Atalanta beat Valencia 4-1 in the San Siro. This is a team that no other team in Champions League history lost their first 3 matches and then ended up qualifying. So speak about defying the odds on top of everything that Atalanta did. They brought out emotions that I haven't felt in a long time.
Guess who's
Literally.
the coach?
I was so proud of this Atalanta
That was
team
amazing.
for they had zero fear. They went into this match saying, we are Atalanta. We play a beautiful style of football. And guess what? When we score 1 goal, we don't want 1 goal. When we score 2, we don't want 2. When we score 3, we don't want 3. Constantly going forward. Gasperini at one point, I can't remember the substitution right now in my head because it's been a little while. But there was one substitution that he made didn't he take out Caldara? He took Caldara out and he put a more attacking player in at a time where he was still winning the game just to continue. It's the opposite of any Italian coach that you would ever see in Europe.
He does not play
And
Catenaccio.
the
Not
most
good enough
beautiful
for Inter, though. Not
the
good
most
enough for
beautiful thing about this Atalanta is the emotions they're bringing out and people that don't know Atalanta. They are an Italian team that can go out and get fans of not Italian football and say, oh my God, this is what the Italian league has to offer. They are so much fun to watch. We've never received more messages than from Premier League fans, La Liga fans saying, this team is so exciting.
Gaetano, don't they play the almost English Premier style soccer? Atalanta constantly pounding the offensive line.
Yeah,
they just have speed.
They
have
do have a
endurance.
different mentality. To tell you the truth, I didn't think they were going to do so well in this Champions League. I thought maybe they will have a little bit of setback, but I am happy that they have that winning mentality and that winning to go forward and I saw the highlights. I mean, they had the chances to score.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Could have more.
So, and it's good. It's nice to see. I think they should be the team that a lot of other teams that are below them, they look up and say, oh, how do these guys do it with the amount of money that they spend? How are they so high and how well they're doing?
15th lowest in the league, their wage bill. There's 15 teams in Serie A alone that spend more than them.
in Mercato.
They are at the same budget as mid-table English clubs. They spend the same amount as second division mid-table clubs. Sorry, second division mid-table clubs.
Yeah.
But like we said, they're a team of dreamers and a team of believers, and I'm really proud of them.
If
Pete,
this
what'd you
was the
think?
beginning of the year, Pete, would you say that between Inter and Atalanta, who will be still moving
of course,
forward?
I mean.
forward
Anyway,
into the
I don't want to go
Champions League?
negative. I want
Okay, negative. Okay,
let him
okay.
praise
No, go ahead,
Atalanta.
Pete, sorry.
No, listen, I saw Atalanta live, and I think that was the turning point when they were versing Manchester City. The first half, Atalanta, they showed too much respect to Manchester City, and I think even a sense of fearfulness that they can get a lot of goals in the back of the net. Then, after going down 1-0, Gasperini said, you know what? If we don't get any points this game, our dream is over. Champions League ends here. And you saw the players, when they got onto that field, they completely changed the game and the style that they were playing, how they attacked, and how they were on top of all the Manchester City. With all the money that Man City has thrown out, Atalanta showed a level of dominance and even had Manchester City in a panic mode, okay, to a certain point.
Well,
That
Guardiola at the side of
Guardiola was
Gasperini,
at top,
yeah.
and that's what I saw as a turning point for this Atalanta team, where now they're saying, listen, we have full faith in our ability and our style of play. And you know what? Screw being respectful. We're going to play our style, even if we're going to be versing Barcelona, Real Madrid, and whatnot. It was an excellent performance based on in Milano, right, against Valencia, who also play a fantastic style of football, and they show their complete dominance. Shame on Bleacher Report and TNT putting on the stupid Tottenham game because of the English fans. That was a snooze fest. A snooze fest. When you have Atalanta the way that they play, the next week, Atalanta better be on TV.
I like.
Good luck
Well
with
said.
that. Good luck with that.
Well said. No, Atalanta again. And what's really cool about Atalanta is their last 11 goals in Champions League have been scored by 10 different players. This is just to show that it's not a team that has superstars. It's not a team that just bought a superstar player and all of a sudden they start playing well. You can look at the Atalanta 11 and you're not even sure who's going to be in the 11. Sometimes there's Hatabor, who scored 2 goals on his debut in Champions League. Gosens. There's just so many different players.
Caldara, the guy I never played 1 minute in AC Milan. We spent so much money on
Listen, but
Juventus.
one thing
For Atalanta,
you just reminded me. I don't want to go negative. One last positive, but Bergamo's population is 122,000 people. At the game, it was estimated that 43,000 from Bergamo were at the match, which is like an hour away.
122,000 with the dogs and cats and everything else, right?
So just to show you the incredible nature of them.
And the crazy thing is, even like on the business side of it, Atalanta, you say, oh, they're youth. They have a great youth program. They won the last 2 or 3 Primavera leagues, right, under 19 leagues in Italy. They're able to develop top talent. But even with that, they're able to sell players at a high value, Gagliardini, Kessier, and so on, make that money and spend smart. The team right now, if you look, it's a mix. You don't have all these young players that you say, oh, everybody's coming from Primavera. They know how to buy and they buy smart. Papu Gomez, Ilicic have been top players in Serie A for a while now, and they were able to keep them together and keep them in Atalanta. They were, with the Champions League, luckily able to keep Duvan Zapata playing in Atalanta. So you have all these pieces now where, they know what they want and what style they play, and they look for those type of players.
One last thing, though. I have to say one critical part of Atalanta is their defense is very, very, very weak. Their center backs, Palomino, he made a mistake even the week before. I mean, the mistake that he's making in Champions League, it's so, I don't want to say unacceptable because, yes, a lot of top players, but they don't have that. They needed some players in the back because I understand. I love going forward. I love this.
Caldara.
No, they had Caldara, but they don't have in the defense as good of players as they do in their midfield and in attack. And I wish that they were able to buy a couple players. I wish we could loan them players in the Champions League.
There's some.
I wish.
Give them Rugani.
I don't know
look
if they'll want Rugani.
They should look for some free agents that don't have a contract right now.
Give
Check
him
some out.
Romagnoli. He's doing nothing on Wednesdays.
I would give it to them.
But anyway, Atalanta, thank you. They are incredible, and they're helping grow Serie A because the
It's
style.
Gasperini's style again. You guys keep laughing at me when I said who's the best coach for you. Who's the best coach? It's Gasperini. Gasperini, he knows how to play the team. I wish I will be learning from him. Today, what I try to do, even with those old
In your game.
stupid Brooklyn Italian guys that I have with me, I try to do the last game, the final. I try to put the 2 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 1
my
forward.
God.
So instead of going more,
But you can't just go over all at
What
once.
does that have to do with it?
but he has to do it. He has to do it because Gasparini's got an attacking mode of playing.
Okay,
In other
but
words,
you're not just putting the 5 strikers in because you want.
but
It's the style that you play.
He's the game. Gasperini.
What's his tactical-
Gasperini takes the game to the other people. He doesn't wait for them to take the game.
But it's a
to
lot
them.
deeper than just throwing
Well,
on
but
5
that's
players.
what I'm trying to say. So don't wait for somebody to punch you. So Gasparini is the guy that is going to have the punch first. He doesn't. It's not reacting to somebody that is getting punched. So Gasparini is the one that is going to have to throw the first punch.
Beautiful.
And guess what? If you throw the first punch, it's like you hit the person 2 times.
I like that. Dad, what were you gonna say? I feel like you're about to end it with something.
No, I don't. I better not comment.
No comment. Okay.
That means he agrees with me.
No, I don't agree with you.
I think we're good.
You still have to, like I say, you have to have balance. You cannot just go forward. You're going to put all offensive players. And what happens, what happens to the defense? Like you say, you also need to have the balance to cover. And what do we say all the time? That the teams that always win most of the time, they're the ones who receive the less goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
in
they have the
Scudetto,
best,
yeah.
At the end,
The
they
best
have the
defense.
best defense.
So anyway, guys, as always, we'll be back. Hopefully, they figure out with the coronavirus, everything gets settled, and we're able to see
Soon,
some games this weekend. Napoli, Barcelona, Lyon, Juventus. Wishing our Italian teams the best in the league. As always,
Let's make a prediction. What is gonna happen? Napoli, Barcelona. Go ahead, Pete. What do you think?
X.
X.
Tie.
X means
Tie.
tie, guys.
okay,
2-2.
2-2 is tie.
okay,
Yeah, I know
okay.
it is.
Good tie. All right, Juventus should win.
Wow, I would like to see Messi walking into these feelings of walking into the San
place
Paulo,
where Maradona played.
Maradona is a legend in there. If I wasn't the Napoli fans, I would come with 70,000 Maradona flags.
That's a great idea, guys. If you're watching, just do that.
I'll go. Stretch out 1-0 Napoli.
Wow, that would be amazing.
I will say the same thing.
1-0.
The Camp Nou, huh?
Good. All right, guys.
No, they're playing in Napoli.
Naples.
Napoli.
Yeah, it's in
No,
Naples.
Naples
right?
first?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
playing in
You
Napoli.
change your mind, you're still 2-2.
No, 2-2 still.
2-2. What about you? What is your?
I said tie.
Oh, tie. I'm sorry.
I said it
didn't hear
before.
you. So sorry to hear that. What about Juventus?
Juventus win.
Yeah,
Oh, wins?
Juve
Yeah, you
Against
will.
who?
You will
Lyon.
win.
Oh,
Name one player on Lyon.
Mbappe. No.
Name the coach for Lyon.
I don't even know.
All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
Hey, keep watching IFTV.
Yeah,
Voted with rated with 5 stars. And
Don't be
forget
depressed.
that at 7 o'clock tonight is the broken arm. Don't forget, it's got a great cast. Okay.
All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it. It's a movie, The Broken Arm. Is it a great cast? Yes, at 7 o'clock.
What kind of